Hello and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta.
And thank you for joining us. And as always, with our chats, we like to set the tone. We like to come at our discussions from a place of love, compassion, respect, and honor. So if you want to have what we call an adult conversation, please join us as we enjoy sharing some wonderful information with you all today.
Yes, our likes, our loves, and things on social.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Thank you again. As Gloria said, don't need to say it again, but I'm going to say it again. And just let's get straight to it because we have a lot to chit-chat about over tea.
Yes.
So today's tea is called, it's Tulsi, and it is Davidson's Organic.
Yes. And the ingredients are, and since it's all organic, I won't just keep repeating organic. I'll say it the first time. Organic Tulsi. And what that means is it is a proprietary blend that this company manufactures. And then we have chamomile, rosehip, lemon myrtle, orange peel, and lemon peel. All organic. We love that.
Yes, and we've had it steeping, and if you are a regular of our chats, you know that we like to smell the tea bags before we actually steep it. And a lot of times we are hoping that the smell is as good as it tastes when we drink it.
Yes.
We've had it steeping, so we're going to wake it up a little bit.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Smells very good.
Smells very good.
I can
Cheers.
smell the lemon. Cheers. Ooh, that's very good.
Very good.
Normally, when I have chamomile tea, it's very strong on chamomile. You don't taste anything else. And I like this because you can taste different things going on in here, which is very good.
Yes, we love that. All right. So, let's get our party started. So, we always like to discuss things in a spirit of kindness, and we want to always listen to one another and be compassionate to one another. So the first thing we recognize is today is National Bubble Tea Day. You know, I had to pick that one because we're tea girls.
AKA boba.
Yes. If it was a little warmer, well, it's getting there. One of the upcoming chats, we'll just have to have some bubble tea.
Yes, we will.
Yes. And it is National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day. If you're in a position where you can help a little, baby, please do. We have so many pets in our shelter systems right now, and it's just really sad.
Yes, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
And we don't like that because what happens, we know if they don't get adopted and they're older or no one will adopt them for a long time, they just, they're put under, what's that word? They're euthanized. That's what that word is.
And so we prefer not to do that. And it's also Stop Food Waste Day. And what that means is that don't waste your food. If you bring something home and you those little doggy bags, and you put it in the refrigerator and you don't eat it right away, if it's something that can be frozen, freeze it. And then it'll last, and then you can take it out and eat it, because we have to be very, very conscious of our foods right now.
I heard that if you do takeout and you don't eat it, it's only good for 3 days.
Yeah.
So after the 3 days that it's been brought home, on third day, it shouldn't be eaten.
Yeah. The only way you can circumvent that is to freeze it.
Yeah.
Because freezing stops the breakdown. But if you leave it in the refrigerator for 3 days, then you just have to recycle it.
Yep. So every last Wednesday in April is that.
Yes.
Stop Food Waste Day.
And as always, in addition to it being national days, it's also birthdays.
It is. You know what? I completely forgot. I don't have any birthdays.
I'm shocked. You always have a birthday.
I know I should have birthdays, but I do have a couple more national days.
There we go.
And one is National Raisin Day. and also National Oatmeal Cookie Day. And I like to combine the two to make oat milk raisin cookie.
Absolutely.
That's what I love. And when I talk about that, I just love oatmeal raisin. What I like about it is the chew.
Yes.
That's what I love. It's chewy, and then the sweet. I'm not a big raisin person, but I love it in oatmeal cookies. Yeah. So that just makes it, and that's what I love.
Okay, I love that too.
Oh, one more, National Hairstylist Appreciation Day.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Hairstylists are worth their weight in gold.
Yes, they are, if they're good.
If they're good. I had a guy back in the day that used to cut my hair, and I even had a few people who go, Oprah, because my hair had that wind effect where it would fly and then it would just lay back down. And sometimes I would go in for my 2-week trim, and he'd go, oh, you just need your ends cut, and he would cut them, and my hair would come back as well as it was the first time he cut it.
When they're good, they're miracle workers.
Yeah.
I wish I had a hairstylist in my pocket. I wish my hands were hairstylist hands every day.
There you go. All right, so now we're going to get more into our conversation. So our thoughts and prayers always go out to the universe, because we believe that you have to learn to love one another. So as you come with us on the journey, remember, love and compassion are foremost.
And empathy.
Absolutely. We have got to teach our children empathy, because they don't have it.
Yeah, and I think it's, as parents, it's our duty and our jobs to teach them, how does it feel? How do you make people feel?
Yeah. With
the words and the actions that you're using or doing. Yes. It's really hard because a lot of kids aren't taught that.
Yeah. I mean, I had someone tell me, like Gen, X, Y, Z, and A, they're missing the empathy gene. So we're going to help bring it back. So did you hear? Let me bring it to you. On Monday night, Beyonce kicked off her, can you imagine, Cowboy Carter. She had all these people in denim and cowboy boots, and she was on stage, and joining her as a background dancer is her daughter, Blue Ivy. she is so pretty.
God, I could only imagine.
Yes, and her baby Riley would just walk out on stage and kind of hang out.
I'm going to do some Googling on that.
Yeah, just so cute. And if you wanted to know, was this just an everyday concert? No, it wasn't, because Gayle King and her daughter Kobe, Tyler Perry, and Oprah Winfrey all went to this.
I thought it was Tyler Perry that I saw dancing with Oprah.
Yes. So they went to celebrate the first concert, or her Cowboy Carter concert. So Beyonce, good luck. I hope you knock it out of the park.
She's going to sell out. She's going to make millions and millions, because people love, they love cowboy, they love country kind of music, and they love Beyonce.
Yeah. And for people who weren't feeling it because they kept saying she should stay in her lane, she's originally from Texas. She's a Southern cowboy girl. She is in her lane. So let's celebrate her and let's lift her up. And I wanted to just, like Rosetta said, sell out every day. So you know how we acknowledge every week a female or male person's accomplishment. So today we have a real feel-good story.
Yes, we do. And I just felt so touched and very happy for this. And today, this little boy that I'm going to talk about, his name is Prince Weiss. So Prince Weiss is a little boy, and every time his mom would cook in the kitchen, he loves cooking with her and learning all about the spices and learning how to cook. And he actually adapted a very sophisticated taste bud. But sadly, in 2021, Prince, he developed a heart condition and required a heart transplant. Yeah. So that kind of stopped him for a little while with his enjoyment of cooking. But soon afterwards, a year afterwards, Make-A-Wish Foundation of Greater Pennsylvania and West Virginia gifted him to a trip to parks in Orlando, Florida. And a year later, the Fairmont Hotel, there's an actual restaurant inside there. They were looking for someone to make an additional item for their menu, and they reached out to Prince Weiss.
Yes.
And because he has, you know, all this, he loves cooking and he has great, exquisite taste, they actually asked him if he would do that, and all the proceeds would go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah.
So he worked with the chef, and I'm trying to see what the name of the chef was. Let me see if I got the name. I know I wrote it down. Well, anyway, he worked with the Chef Canalese, his name is. It's Chef Canalese for making this dish, and it's just an item added to the menu. And the final dish came out to be Prince's creation, and it is a crab cake sandwich with fries. So it's 2 crab cake patties, avocado, tartar sauce, and fries. But it's not just a regular sandwich. As you can see here, this is a picture of what it looks like. You see, it's quite sophisticated. And what's really nice is that all the proceeds are going to Make-A-Wish Foundation, and it was his creation at such a young age. And the staff gifted Prince an apron, a chef's hat with his name on it, and a set of children's cooking knives for doing that. And this was all last year, and it was on their menu through the holiday season.
Nice.
So everyone could order that.
Yes.
And if they knew about it, they would, you know that it was going for a good cause.
Yes.
So I love that. And I want to hear more about this young boy, Prince Weiss, to see how he grows up and becomes a great master chef.
Absolutely.
I want to hear what kind of journey he's going on.
Could you imagine if he becomes a Michelin chef?
Yeah.
I mean, there's very few of those per year, like 2 to 4.
Yeah, because he's the one that came up with crab cakes. A lot of kids would not come up with that.
Absolutely.
And he also told the chef that he also likes to eat lobster as well.
Hey, kids got great taste.
Yes.
I love it. So, speaking of food, you know, as a health coach, my girl's always looking at how to help people live their best life, eating the foods that they love, just being more conscious of the, I guess you could just say, the historical factor of the food. You know, is it non-GMO'd? Is it organic? Is it
the source of where we're getting the
exactly
food?
Where does it come from? You know, what in that particular country, how do they, you know, nurture the plants and the foods that they then harvest? So we were just talking about, you know, a lot of Americans, they want everything fast. They have no patience. And so every time we see someone, it's like, are they on the shot? Are they on Ozempic? Are they on Wegovy? You know, Mounjaro? What are they using? Well, guess what my girl found out about weight loss shots now?
Well, yes, the reason why I think we've been seeing more and more people on these shots is because they become more and more accessible and affordable. And back in the days, telehealth companies had been selling these shots. They're called compound drugs or off-brand versions of many of the GLP, and the FDA said they're no longer allowed to do that.
Right.
So there was an announcement that came up with Wegovy. Wegovy is going to collaborate with 3 different telehealth companies to provide Wegovy pens for all doses in the telehealth platform. Now, this is what it is. It's going to be, if they get it with Wegovy and they're partnered with the telehealth platform, it's going to be $100 monthly fee. So you have to join this.
Right.
So the joining fee is $100 a month, which is not cheap.
Right.
Then you have additional monthly from Wegovy's cost of $4.99 a month.
Yeah, which is still less than $1,300 a month.
Yeah, so it's around $600, and yes, it is expensive. That's why a lot of people normal people weren't
Right.
able to get it because it's so expensive.
Right.
But with this collaboration coming, you can get it for like half price basically. But there is another thing. You can get something called direct to consumer from Novo Nordisk for $499, direct to consumer.
Right.
That's one of them, and you can get Zepbound. I don't know if you heard of Zepbound. There's another company. They have it available, but instead of a pen like Wegovy has,
Right.
it's going to be a vial syringe.
Yeah. Where you have the little bottle, and then you have to put the needle in
Extract it with the
and
needle.
you have to
Yes.
tap the
Yes.
air out because you can't have bubbles. And
Yes.
then that is that's a training process. You don't just pick it up and shoot it and you're good.
That's another learning curve. And the starter dose is going to be $349. Get this, but further doses are going to cost $499.
Yeah.
So what does this mean? In a way, I'm kind of happy, but not really that happy, because people that really need it
Right.
will be able to get access to it.
Right.
But because it's getting cheaper and cheaper, I'm scared that they're putting more people at risk
Right.
of getting, because they don't know which person that takes it will have these side effects they will have. And would XYZ person decide, okay, it's cheaper, I can afford it, and all of a sudden end up getting really, really sick.
Right.
Because we've heard these stories of people getting very, very sick.
Right. I have someone I know who needed back surgery. However, before they would perform the surgery, she had to lose 30 pounds because she was in so much pain. They couldn't do the traditional dieting, so they put her on Ozempic, and she used to scream in pain.
Really?
Yeah.
From the side effects
From
of
the
that.
side effects.
That is another thing, because if you've watched a show called 600 pounds, or these shows that they have to lose a lot of weight, what do the doctors say? We can't do the surgery unless you lose some weight.
You have to prove that by them making the commitment to give you the surgery, you're going to work it off. So, I even know people who went on, back in the day, everybody was doing gastric bypass.
Yes.
Prior to you getting gastric bypass, you had to have lost between 20 to 40 pounds, depending upon your core size. They didn't just say, okay, let's do it. Because if you could not show that you could keep it off, they would not do it.
Also, I think the reason they have to lose the weight is because if it's excess weight, there's some health risks that are associated with that.
Yes.
So this is, I don't know about these. I just feel like it's good for some people who really need it, but then I really wish that people that don't need it, like we've seen celebrities and other people that have the money, they do the real thing, not just through these telehealth companies. They do the real deal injections. But you need to learn first how to get a healthy lifestyle, how to incorporate healthy habits. Because once you get off those shots, let's say that you're done with the shots, you're like, oh, I don't need to lose any more weight. What happens when you stop injecting yourself? It's going to come right back, which is a sad thing. So I don't know. It's kind of like a catch-22. What are we going to do? Exactly.
And, I'm a curvy girl, and I've never wanted to. I saw the video about what they do with the balloon. I saw what they do, how they go in and they make your stomach the size of an egg with gastric bypass. And I have done it the slow, old-fashioned way. And it's really funny because at my highest peak, I have, my sisters will give me a hard time now. They'll go, you need to quit wearing that. You wore that size when you were like 6, 7 sizes bigger than you are today. But that's one of the reasons to do it the natural way, because in your mind, because even though I know what size I wear now, and it's 7 sizes smaller, I still see me as that person.
That's exactly how people, I think that's kind of like the psychology, the psychic of it, because I've noticed that when I used to watch those, those shows where they do extreme makeovers where they're trying to lose the weight.
Yes.
You notice that they lose the weight, but then they're still walking the same way as if they had that extra pounds on their body.
Yes.
And they haven't, like, psychologically, they haven't learned how to walk like a normal person.
Yes. I'm trying to think of that show where
Extreme something.
Yeah,
I forget,
but I remember
Extreme Makeover Weight Loss Edition or something.
Yes, because one of the things that they would do after they lost all the weight, they would put packs of weight on them, and they would have them race so that they could see what it felt like to cover and to carry that weight again.
Yeah.
So the shots are going down. However, please do your research to understand about the side effects, because the side effects can be very, very deadly.
I was reading on Facebook, and a lot of people were commenting how they had a lot of horrible side effects. Nausea, vomiting, different things.
Really, really bad.
Even though they did lose the weight,
you
have to subject yourself to all these side effects.
It's like, is it worth it? And, like Rosetta said, a lot of the stars that we've been seeing of late, they're looking really skinny. I was watching some show, and I'm thinking to myself, they always say the camera puts 10 pounds on you. This person, I mean, if she turned sideways, she was so small, and I'm like, you need to get off the shot. You've gone too far.
Well, sadly, I don't know if she gets off the shots. Well, she could be scared that she could gain the weight back.
Yeah, but I mean, her clothing had to be like a -0. She was that tiny. Also, I guess we're on this kind of food thing. We're just kind of woven into it. The other thing is, I love community activities. I love going to different events. We have one coming up called the Lumpia Festival. We have the Strawberry Festival. We have the Garlic Festival that's
Summer
coming
is
back.
Full of amazing festivals and fairs.
Things. And okay, in Vancouver, they had a street fair to celebrate Filipino heritage, and it was tragically abrupted.
Yeah, this guy just ran through the fair and killed at least 11 people and injuring dozens more.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a husband and wife team that had a food truck, and they just saw the horrific incident when it happened.
Yeah.
And he was actually the husband was trying to hold people back from seeing the scenes, because he's saying, you should not be seeing this, because it's horrific. Yeah. And then you see the cameras pan over and interviewing this other guy sitting on the curb. He's bawling in tears because of what he'd just seen.
Yeah. And
it's just devastating and distraught. And I don't exactly know what the issue with this guy was, but the suspect's name is Kai G. Adam Lowe, 30 years old. And we don't know really.
The investigation is continuing.
It's still continuing.
And, and as we learn more, we will be able to at least give you some idea. But of course, the first thing people said is they think it's related to mental health, because how can you hit bodies like that?
Well, the police did say they had several encounters with this Kai G. Adam Lowe.
Right.
And they suspect because of his mental health struggles.
Yes.
That's when they had encounters with him, but they don't really know the motive, but they do know that he does have mental health issues.
Yeah. So as we find out more, we will definitely update you with that information. Yeah. So this is just a little FYI. Please focus on your personal identification. These real IDs, this is not going to go away this time. Every time it bubbles up, they delay it.
Yes.
It's not. When Gayle King and Oprah and Tyler went to the event, I am not sure where Gayle's daughter lives, but Gayle had to go back to New York, and she was saying that the lines were ridiculous. I mean, and that's just here in California. So don't wait until May 7th to get your ID, because if you have a passport, you've got to buy. But like Rosetta said earlier, make sure it's at least 6 months before it expires, or don't leave because you might not be able to come back. So be careful.
And also, if you're trying to make an appointment with the DMV, it's going to be a while for you to get an appointment. So if you don't have to travel anywhere, I would do it now, so that if you are traveling, then you're not rushing last minute.
Exactly. And with the DMV, like she said, if you don't need it, that's fine. Just make sure that when you go there, if you go to the DMV website, it tells you specifically what documents to bring with you. If you get there, you stand in line for 3 hours, and say, for example, you don't have your Social Security card, they're going to turn you around. So don't waste your time.
And did you tell me, or someone told me, the reason why we're moving to real IDs?
Well, it's supposed to be more secure.
Okay, so so that's the reason. It's because it's harder to fake an ID.
Yes.
And if you notice where the signature is,
yes,
it's raised.
It's raised, so you can raise, you can put your fingers across
and
it.
feel it being a bit bumpy.
Yes.
So it's harder
to
make fake IDs.
Ones, and that's why they're doing it. So please beware. So as you know, I am a football girl. I have loved football since I was a young girl, and I grew up because I'm from the South. I was in the middle of the New Orleans Saints and the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm a Dallas Cowboy girl. Here in California, I fell in love with the Raiders. My husband is a Niner fan, so we are all into football. Last Thursday, the NFL draft kicked off, and there were initially, it was really interesting because last year it was all about quarterback. This year was all defense, receivers, running back, safeties. And so there were some individuals anticipated to go up early, like first round draft.
Right.
So one young man, his name is Shadur Sanders. This is Deion Sanders' son. Deion Sanders of the Dallas Cowboys, who he is now known as Coach Prime, is an amazing man. So everyone thought his son would go first round.
Yes.
First round came, no one called him. Second round, no one called him. Third round, no one called him. People are really starting to research. They stopped talking about, like they would just say, this person was called, and then they would go back to, why do you think it? Was he, did he, make a mistake during his interviews, whatever. So I think it was third round, we found out that there were people making fake calls to some of these young men who were hanging on every word that's spoken, because this is their future. And so there's a coach. His name is Jeff Ulrich. He is a coach with the Falcons. His son decided to place a prank call to Shadur, saying, I know you thought you were going to go higher. Well, that's not going to happen. It's going to take longer. You're just going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait longer. I think that is just disgusting. And
then click, the phone just drops.
Yeah. And so, every time the phone would ring, they would kind of, put it on speaker, and then everybody's recording because they think it's the call that he's going to get to play in the NFL. So you hear this. And he looks at his father, his mother, and everyone in the room, and he's like, what am I supposed to do with this? What does this mean? So I hope that the NFL commissioner does something. I know that they're finding the team. They're finding the coach. I think that young man should have to do some public service. He sent a Instagram post, sorry. That's not being accountable for torturing someone like that.
And the reason why it's even more serious is because these numbers, the phone numbers are strictly, these college students know that they're strictly to be used for the teams to call them.
Yeah.
If anything like this happens, like they're going to be drafted into a professional team.
Yeah. So that's why you would take the call from someone you didn't know, because you would recognize the phone number.
Yes. And the reason how this son, his name is Jack Albrecht, he got this is because his dad had left his laptop out, and he didn't just do this to Deion Sanders' son. He did it to several other people. I forget the names of the players, but they did it to several other students as well.
Yeah,
players
that's why
as well.
I think it should be more than just daddy writing a check. I think it should be a little bit more accountable.
Because it really doesn't teach this Jack
to never do that again.
This Jack boy anything.
Yeah, like
really.
if all of a sudden Jack is told from the time you get a job, 30% of your check will go automatic to the NFL, community charitable outreach or something.
Yeah.
Make it tangible so you think to yourself, not only would I never do that again, no one watching will ever do that again.
And it's a learning. It has to be something that's going to teach. He's 21 years old. He's an adult.
Yeah, he's not a child.
You've got to teach him some. It's got to be a learning lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So luckily, Shadur actually went in the 5th round. And the thing that I love the most is people thought, oh, well, he's just, he's arrogant. He thought he was going to go number 1 because of his daddy. And they celebrated in their home just as if he had walked through the tunnel on day 1. I even heard that the number 1 draft person received a crank call.
Wow.
So, and this person is number 1. Could you imagine if he, because the thing is they take you out of your happy, joy mode and put you into, now what am I going to do?
I don't really know what he was thinking trying to do these prank calls.
Yeah.
What kind of
It was really bad.
I just don't know. Doesn't make sense.
So luckily the draft is on. However, and this is what I always tell people, the draft does not mean you get to stay with the team. Yeah. Now you have to perform. So, Shadur, I want you to show the Cleveland Browns who drafted you that they made a good pick. Even though they stepped over you twice before, show them that you are a good person. You are a wonderful player. And you are here to represent the good side of NFL.
Yes.
So, as you know, last week we talked about the passing of the Pope. And so on Saturday, they actually had his service. And his legacy was just so beautiful. There were over 250,000 people in attendance of his service. And one of the things that I saw that just really struck me, because, he's known as the People's Pope. So now they're getting ready to do the conclave, and they're going, I think they start on May 7th, looking for the replacement. And so that's going to take a few weeks.
And I didn't know that there's 135 cardinals that are under 80, so they're eligible to vote.
Absolutely.
And they come from all 4 corners of the earth.
Everywhere.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I knew about the conclave because I'd seen that movie, The Conclave.
Yes.
Which I'm so glad I did, because now I understand.
And now there's a new one out that's called The Two Popes.
Oh, really?
That they're saying that everyone should, kind of watch.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, but the blessing is that it's not just, some one person picks. No, it's a vote. And so I saw this statement and I just thought, this is so wonderful. And it says, with immense gratitude for his example as a true discipline of the Lord Jesus, we commend the soul of Pope Francis to the infinite, merciful love of the one in true God. May you rest in peace. So, we don't understand what happened, how it happened. There's more research to occur. However, in Chatham, Illinois, a driver plowed into a after-school daycare building.
Yeah, this was really, really, just right after this car plowed into the Filipino Heritage Festival. Now we hear this car plowing into this, we don't know either, but as Gloria said, but the consequences was that killed 4 young students ranging from the ages of 4 to 18. And I think you have some information about those.
Yes. So the 18-year-old was standing outside of the building. That was the coach. She was the coach of the young girls. And her name is Riley Britton. She was 18 years old. The 4 students that were hurt, the first one is Alma. Her name is really, really hard, so forgive me if I mispronounce it. but it is Bonner Kempe. She's 7 years old. Catherine Corley was 7 years old. Ainsley Johnson was 8 years old. So there were 4 in total, 3 young girls and their teacher. And it appears that the driver is Marianne Akers. She's 44 years old. And you see the road where cars are, and you see the car comes off and goes across this grassed area. There's no swerving to try and change the direction of the car. The lines in the grass are pretty straight. So the investigation is continuing, and the only thing that they've shared so far is it doesn't look like it was intentional, like they planned it and there was information.
There was no targeted motive.
Right. So the investigation will continue forth, but it's just
like,
really
can you
sad.
imagine dropping your child off to this after school care and then not seeing your child ever again?
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine what the parents are feeling for all 4 of them.
Yes.
Even the coach.
Yeah. I mean, she was only 18 and she was a young, thriving person, and her life had not really even begun. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the families, because I know the devastation is just palatable in the air. And people are going to the school and they're placing flowers along the boarded up area where the car slammed into the building. So some of you may know my girl is a health coach, and she didn't know what I'm about to say. I love this. So she decided that she was going to start making sugar scrubs in support of the UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital right here in Oakland, California. So when she makes these scrubs, sugar scrubs, salt scrubs, she has different variations. So, you can always, if you're in Northern California, you can come by and check her out. We do these pop-ups every second Thursday of the month right here at JP Graphics, 3310 Woodward Avenue, Santa Clara, California. So all of the proceeds goes to support the families of the children, because it's like imagining St. Jude, and one day they had to start trying to do something to help the families of the children. So when you go to St. Jude's, you don't have to worry about it. Your focus is on your child. And that's what Rosetta wants to help families with. So I happened to be watching a commercial, an infomercial, and it was talking about some of the doctors. So in addition to shouting her out, I want to shout out these doctors. So Dr. Michelle Heston is a pediatric hematology oncology doctor. Dr. Christine Simona, Dr. Zendaya Carvana, Dr. Christopher Borak, Dr. Maria Castelli, and Dr. Christine Ma, just to name a few. And they are actively refining the possibilities for children's care of cancer. So we want to recognize their contribution to the world, because as a parent, there is nothing more devastating than having your child be sick and you feel like you can't do anything to help them. So thank you
so much. I love it, and I love my cause that I fundraise for, because these families need a lot of help, like for transportation,
yes,
meals, gas,
yes,
housing, even compassionate care,
yeah,
everything that you would need if your child was in the hospital. They're thinking, how can we make it less strain and stress on the families, and all they need to do is to support their child when they're in the hospital. So that's where all the funds are going to.
Yes. So we're going to put her link down below. And if you want sugar scrubs, that's one thing, but you can also make a contribution on behalf of her efforts to support those children.
Yes, trying to raise as much as I can for the families.
Yes. So anyone who knows me know that I always have a joke about Whole Foods. I call it whole paycheck, because and my girl has educated me a lot on everything's not more expensive at Whole Foods. It just feels like whenever I go shopping, what I want feels more expensive. However, you have to pay more to get good quality. So you must understand this store is the creme de la creme. It is Whole Foods Cupertino. It is a store that is all about non-GMO, no chemicals, like the products that they offer are...
They don't use high fructose corn syrup.
Yes.
They don't use any like artificial colors. Any products that have it, they have a rigorous, a team
right.
that if you want to become a vendor and sell your products at Whole Foods, they actually have to go through this course that
right.
they have to, understand everything. But did you know that for their cakes, they don't use artificial colors?
That's right.
So if you see that they don't have any bright colors, these colors are natural, coming from others like vegetables
yes.
and fruits and things.
Yes. So just so that you understand, this is a high quality store. So you can imagine my shock when I heard that last week, for the third time, the health inspector shut down the store after finding widespread vermin violations, including live rodents in multiple parts of the store. The health inspector found rodent droppings throughout the store and live rodents spotted in 8 locations within the store, prompting the suspension of the operating permit, according to Santa Clara County Department of Environmental Health. The store is actually closed, and it's minimally going to be closed for a few weeks. And this is as of April 23rd. Now, there are other locations, so don't think that all Whole Foods are having this problem. This is one isolated location, and you never know what's going on, because I live in a neighborhood, and I remember someone moved in, and one of my neighbors sees me, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm dying." And I go, "What's the matter?" And she goes, because the new person who moved in next door to her. She says, "My God, they brought rats and roaches with them."
Oh.
Now, that wasn't my experience, because number one, I was on the other side of her, and also my husband is the animal whisperer, so all kinds of little kitties would live around our properties. So I don't know if they were scared to come to my house. I was just grateful that they did not come. So this is more of an information for you. And I've had some people say, well, Whole Foods is not the way it used to be being taken over by Amazon. However, like Rosetta said, there are certain locations that they are very strict. So whatever this is that's going on, I know it will get resolved. But I just wanted you all to be aware that's what's going on in Cupertino.
When it reopens, don't forget, keep shopping there.
That's right.
Because the issue's resolved.
It'll be resolved.
That's why they can open again.
Exactly. And trust me, because this is the third time. The first time they just kind of gave them a warning, and then the second time they went back, they were like, okay, either you do this or else, and then apparently they couldn't get it done, so the third time it's shut down. So that will also let you know that the health department, Santa Clara County Health Department, they're going to stay on top of this. So when those doors open, everything will be good. Okay? So give them another chance. So it is amazing to me that people continue to call what's going on in the United States as well as the world just weather. So there are deadly storms going from mid to East Coast right now, from Texas all the way to New York. I mean, high winds, high rains, tornadoes. I mean, I saw a Jeep fully, this blows my mind. The Jeep was picked up and dropped on top of a structure. The tires were still there. The Jeep, I mean, it looked like it should be down on the ground, but it was up in the air.
Yes, and the reason why I'm like, this is crazy is because this is spring.
Yeah, it's supposed
Summer
to be.
Is coming soon.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Yeah, and you would never know it because, like this morning, it was 54 where I live. That's why I have a sweater on. And now everyone's telling me, ooh, it's hot outside. And it's like, well, that's why I dress the way I do. I dress in layers now. You never know what's going on. So the heavy rains between Texas to New York caused flash flooding and tornadoes. Then in western Pennsylvania, the winds were up to 80 miles per hour. And then southern Missouri and outside of Springfield, a tornado hit, as well in Ploughs, Montana. And Wichita Falls had pounding waters, and it was running down the streets like I thought that was just a little lake. No, it's the street. Underneath all that water is just a regular street. The wind gusts were comparable to what a tornado would feel like. So right now, there's 100,000 people that are gearing up for flash floods. And in the past 48 hours, Texas has had 120 mile per hour winds. And they've had hail, large size hail, and they've had tornadoes, and they're anticipating this to keep moving until it moves all the way from Texas, from the bottom of Texas, all the way up, Chicago, Illinois, all of that, and then all the way across. So please do not drive into standing water. If you think something is going on, it is better to be prudent and to be safe. So no standing water. When we were kids, my grandparents, if we saw the funnels, my grandfather would like stop the car and say, get into the, we would go to the lowest point so that the funnel will go, because it doesn't go underneath, it just goes flat across. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't want to get in the mud. And he was like, get in the mud or die. So, sometimes you had to do what you had to do. But the blessing is that it was small, and it would be one, maybe two a year. These, if you recall, are happening more frequently. So please be safe.
And what can we do to help our planet? As we always said in last week, there's so many things you can do, and we've discussed it, and we will keep discussing it. But for now, I'm going to say, go online and see what you can do today to start helping the environment.
Yes. Do it for our children. Do it for the kids in the world. Don't worry about pity poor me. Let's just help the next generation. How can we leave
our world, our next generation,
even better
than the ones we have?
Absolutely. So, as we always promise, if you hang out with us, we're going to share some events around the Bay.
Yes, we are. We have some great events coming up. We actually have May the 4th and May the 22nd farm to table homemade bread making classes.
Nice.
Yes, and don't worry, all the information will be below, so you can get all the links there. But there you do have to register, because I think there is a cost. And you will learn the art of bread making from the expert bread maker using fresh ingredients straight from the farm. And there's 2 classes available, May the 4th and May the 22nd. And they'll also teach you how to make things like zucchini, banana bread, challah, and sandwich loaves, and sourdough.
Now that sounds like fun.
Event number 1. Event number 2, halfway to Halloween flashlight tours. May the 3rd and May the 10th at the Winchester Mystery House.
Thank God it's still there, because everything around it has been knocked down. So thank God. There was a mobile home park where people lived, and it's gone.
Yeah, so it's available for a limited time only, with only a flashlight to guide you. Explore the mansion's twisting corridors and uncover its chilling mysteries. And I'll put the link below if you'd like to go. Then the next one we have is PPR Fundraising Pawty, Pawly, because it's on this Saturday, 11 to 2 p.m., and it's in Campbell at the Campbell Water Tower Kitchen Restaurant. And it is a super fun fundraising party. There will be puppies to meet. It is not an adoption event, but you can come and meet some of the soon-to-be adoptable pups, prizes to win, raffles, auctions, delicious food to eat, and amazing drinks. 100% of all ticket proceeds will come back to directly support the PPR to help them support their mission of rescuing puppies from high-kill shelters and finding them forever homes. Nice. So all the information down below. This is in Campbell. Then we have a STEAM Day, STEAM,
nice.
Which is science, math, arts, and technology. And this is in Sunnyvale. It's a STEAM Family Fun Day, explore, create, and discover. And it's a great day for family fun. Whether you're a young explorer or just young at heart, this event is perfect for families looking to dive into the exciting world of science, technology, engineering, art, and math, which is why it's called STEAM. And if you want to join, the reservations will be down below in the comments.
Nice.
Then we have Bank of America Museums on Us. So every first full weekend of every month, Bank of America give free admission to a list of different museums. And the way that you do that is that if you present an active Bank of America, Merrill, former Merrill Lynch, or Bank of America private bank, debit or credit card, along with your picture ID, you'll receive free admission. And down below is the link to where all the different museums are around the Bay.
Nice.
Then the last one I have is called Fort Mason Friday Night Market Series 2025. It's a monthly event at Fort Mason Center for Arts and Culture, following the success of an inaugural night market that drew more than 10,000 in December. And it partners with West Coast Crafts and Off the Grid. So Off the Grid has always been an event happening for the longest time. And it's about eating, because they bring a lot of food trucks, and it's called Off the Grid. So you can go there and eat and invite your friends. And this is going to be May the 30th, and I'll put all the information down below, but it's every month. So every month has this event. 4 to 9 p.m. family friendly event featuring more than 100 top realtors, vendors, and more than 15 exceptional food and drink options from Off the Grid, live music performances, DJs, creative workshops, special menus, and public art installations. So this will be a good one if you're in San Francisco or you want to try it for one time and make the trip down there. So Fort Mason. Nice. So there you have it. Those are your events around the Bay.
Nice, 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 nice. Wow. We shared a lot of information with you all, and we hope we talked about something that touched your heart and touched your mind, because together we can change the world to a better place for our kids. So we want you to know that we feel the love that you send to us by taking the time to listen to our chat.
Yes.
We feel it bubbling over.
We send it right back to you.
We send it right back to you. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this chat, because I know you did. Because if you did, how about hitting that thumb icon, liking us? How about if you haven't subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell notification. You know what that means, to be notified when our chats are ready to be seen. Thank you so much again. We are Silicon Valley Girls, chat over tea.
And remember to always keep smiling. Bye.